Today I ask, what do these have to do with anger? Hey everybody, my name is Scott Vermillion. Thanks for tuning in today. We are talking about the emotion of anger and the aggression that usually follows it. And I have to tell you that this week I have been more angry than I have been in lots of weeks prior to that. And partly that's due to, let's just say all of it is due to my technology for doing these videos is breaking down. For whatever reason, the audio won't work or the video won't work and I can't sync them together or my computer won't process it. And this used to be a little simple project that I was doing, but it has turned into something I am really angry about. And so my knee-jerk reaction here is just to start firing off emails to the maker of my cameras and the audio equipment and just saying, listen, this is not working right and it is your fault. And I think that's what happens with anger, right? Is that we quickly identify what's wrong and then we move to blame. You see, I think we're all built in with these binoculars, and these binoculars are really all about finding one thing, and that is to scope out the problems in the world. And we're just so good at spotting these problems. And we find them, whether it's in the grocery store or driving along the street or in our workplaces or in our families. It doesn't matter. We're going to find what's wrong because we're really, really good at it. But here's what I find the difficulty is that typically we're really good at seeing what's wrong, either on a relational level or a systemic level or a social injustice level. I mean, there's lots of ways we can do that. However, I think we move to pointing the finger and blame and moving toward aggression way too soon. You see, I think that the difficulty when it comes to anger is that we feel so justified because we see that thing is wrong, to then move in and place that blame on the people that are around us because it pinches, it hurts, it doesn't feel good to see or to experience that wrong in our life. I love the fact that that when it comes to emotions, that we can see these as thermometers that measure the temperature of our soul, that measure what's going on inside, just like a thermometer would be used outside. And instead of moving right to this knee-jerk reaction of blaming others, and it's always external, that what's wrong is external, I think we need to take a page out of the Bible. And we need to remember Paul's words in Romans, that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And that word all really catches me, right? You know, it's not just you, it's all. It means me too, that we're all in this together. And so when we experience something wrong and we see something wrong, we have these binoculars out and we're scoping out the landscape, identifying all these things that are broken. I think we also need to identify with being part of the problem. That we too have come at people sideways and we break things all the time, whether it's relationships or camera equipment. It doesn't matter. We are part of the problem. G.K. Chesterton said it best. He's an English writer that was in the 20th century, and he wrote essays in all kinds of genres. I mean, he used it all, and his one passion was to explore what's wrong with the world. And so basically he was invited by the New York Times to write an essay along with some other big popular writers at the day and said, tell us what's wrong with the world, G.K. Chesterton. And I memorized his essay. It goes like this. He said, dear sirs, I am, period. Sincerely, G.K. Chesterton. That humility, that as in coming from a man who spent his life exploring all the injustices of the world, and yet he was able to speak into that, not with blame and not with vile and vitriolic speech, but instead with humility, as one who identifies with being a contributor to what's wrong with the world. And I think when we not only see what's wrong with the world, but then we also see that we're a contributor to it, then I think we can understand John 3:16 in a whole new light. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him will have eternal life. The reason Jesus came was because of love. And so he identified what was wrong, right? God identified that there was something wrong. And instead of just pointing out the blame and bringing down fire from heaven, God instead reaches out and he sends us a gift. He sends us a care package, Jesus. And that care package was a sacrifice on our behalf. So the next time anger comes into your life, the next time you start to feel the heat of it, pause. Confess that you identify something wrong, and that's good, but pause before you start assigning blame and allow yourself a conversation with the Lord to say, how have I contributed to this? In what way am I a contributor to what's wrong in the world? And then as you do that, ask God to say, how am I going to respond to this? In what way would it be appropriate for me to respond to what's wrong in the world? And I bet 9 out of 10 times that the Lord is going to lead you to sacrifice in some way, whether it's your time or your pride or something in your life, in order to show his love to those who have blown it around you. So that's my encouragement this week as you deal with anger. You're not going to stuff it, so totally recognize it, but don't act on it with aggression. Instead, confess that you are also part of the problem with this broken world, and invite Jesus in to reveal a new way forward. All right, guys, tell me what you're learning about anger and aggression in your life. I'd love to hear it. I need to learn it because it happens a lot. And so we want to encourage you. So get out there, see what's wrong with the world, but don't act on it the way you would want to. and see if there's not a new way to deal with this anger. All right, guys, take care and have a great week.